Hello, my friends. How are you? Jerome is off again today. He's under the weather still, so we're gonna let him rest, and we're gonna have him back next week. I hope. We'll see. We're all feeling much better. Thank you very much. It's the Melting Pat, the Next Level Network. How are you? Hope you're all well, staying dry and warm and safe and cozy and cuddly and whatnot. Hope you're all okay. Yeah, we're all much better. We're all feeling much better. Not the band much better, but we're all feeling much better now than we did last week. Also, change of plans. I am not getting my vasectomy, so it has not happened yet. I had to push that to February because we all got sick, and I figured I wasn't going to be well enough by then because you have to stop taking some certain medications and stuff, and I wasn't going to be well enough by that deadline. So I called and pushed it back to February. Don't worry, shop is still closing. I'm not backing out. Just had to reschedule some things because it happens. Kid gets sick, everybody gets sick, and it's how it goes. So no vasectomy this week. Sorry to let you down. But yeah, next month we're going to do that. So we'll have a regular show for you today. We got some stuff going on. We got a song from In Case We Crash in just a second. We are also going to talk about, we got a retail story, which sent to me by a friend, which then reminded me of two other things. So it's kind of a combo there. So we got that. We got a really good question, really good fan mail question about seeing bands live, seeing music live. So we'll do that. I love this question. I don't know if everybody else feels this way, but maybe it'll spark a little debate there in the comments or whatever, and we can work that out. I'll tell you a little bit about how bad the Facebook home feed is. I mentioned that last week. And then we'll talk about the Dodgers and how I think what they're doing, the strategy they are employing, I think could become a thing for other teams. And people are like, oh man, this is going to be terrible. I think it could be good. So we'll get to that at the end of the show. And then hopefully the captain will rejoin us and tell us what's going on because we haven't heard from him in 3 weeks. So I don't know anything about what's going on with the Flyers, but hopefully he will be there and we'll be all good to go. All right. So that's the show for today. This episode, I already came up with a title. It's called Presented by Tylenol, Theraflu, and Robitussin. Those are the three my three saviors for this week. It really knocked, like the Tylenol helped with some of the aching. The Theraflu knocked out a lot of the congestion, and then the Robitussin quelled the cough. Because what happens is I don't blow my nose that well, that often. I don't know. I never have. So it all gets, sniffed up, and then it has to go somewhere. So it doesn't go, sorry to be gross. So it doesn't go out, it goes down, and then that creates the cough. And so then, I realize I do this to myself. But it's just how it works. I don't know. It's how it goes. So, yeah, we're all feeling much better, thankfully. We're all okay. It was a rough week, but we're all good. Hopefully, we're all getting there. Anyway, we're all doing much better. So, yeah, that's that. So, yeah, we had some more rain the other day, had some water damage. Oh, that's what I forgot to tell you. I may have to do this in pieces, as usual, because I'm waiting on the repair guy to come back. He was here yesterday, sealing up some cracks in the back wall there. Above, not here in my office, but above, and he was on the roof and he did all that stuff. So he's got to come back today and handle some other things. I know he's on a job early, and he said he's going to come by after that. So we may have to stop. I say that to let you know that we may have to stop and start this episode, and so it might sound a bit different with all the pieces we have going on. All right, so that's that. We might sound a bit different for this week, maybe for the next couple, as long as I have this frog in my throat, I guess. We're going to try to handle that. But that is what's up for today. Again, hope you're well. Hope everything is going great on your end. And if you're not feeling well, get well soon. God bless if you're into that thing. And I'm pulling for you. All right? All right. So we have, here's what I do. When I see a band that I've played on the show before, that they're releasing a new song, I will go into my phone or on my Google Drive, my Google Doc here, and I will make a note. Like, these are the bands I'm going to play. Whether I have to reach out to them or if I've played them already, they go on the list, and I'm like, okay, got to remember to play that. And then, for whatever reason, what happens is I will lose track of who I'm supposed to play in what order. And so this song actually came out several months ago. And because I'm me, and that's how it goes, I missed it. But our friends, In Case We Crash, released a new song, and I don't know. I wrote it down, and I still missed it. But I think it's a great song, and I want to play it for you. And I don't know if they have new stuff coming soon. I'm not sure. I didn't see anything when I looked yesterday. So unless they posted today, I don't know. But anyway, we have a song new to us, new to the show from our friends, In Case We Crash. And I think you're going to like this one. I do. It's called Voice of Your Own. It's the Melting Pat. We're coming right back.
You've had a lot on your plate this week. You're worn out and feeling big. The lump in your throat makes it tough to speak. Then it gets hard to breathe. I can hardly speak. I can hardly breathe. Yeah, you should try to find a voice of your own. Because if you don't, then you'll never know. I won't give up, so come what may. I'll feel till I'm old and gray. I'm not the only one to feel this way. We all lose ourselves some days. I'm not the only one to feel this way. We all lose ourselves some days. Yeah, you should try to find a voice of your own. Because if you don't, then you'll never know. I built myself up to get where I am. It's not like I had any other plans. Yeah, you should try to find a voice of your own. Because if you don't, then you never know. Yeah, you should try to find a voice of your own. Because if you don't, then you'll never know. I built myself up to get where I am. It's not like I had any other plans.
And there we go, our friends, In Case We Crash with, well, it might still be their latest. I don't know. It was a while ago. But anyway, Voice of Your Own, the Melting Pat, the Next Level Network. Did we get it? Did we get that? The solo itself was too high. My register wasn't going to reach there, especially now with whatever's going on. But I think that was okay, right? Is that fine? Don't tell the band I did that. I don't know if they'll listen. I don't know if any band listens when I play their music, but don't tell them. Don't let them know. In case we crash, find them other places. Links to all of that will be in the show notes, unless I can find it for you. Hold on. You know what? I'm going to find it for you. Hold on one second. All right, it's incasewecrash.com. INCASEWECRASH.com. In case we crash. There you go. Tell them I sent you. Again, don't tell them about the thing I did. Don't tell them about the noises I just made, because I don't think they would like that. Maybe they would. Who knows? Most bands do. But anyway, there we go. In case we crash. Voice of Your Own. Go get it where you get your songs and do the thing over there. Thank you very much, my friends. Okay, on with the show. We have some things to discuss. So let's shout out my friend Amy G, who was on this show a number of years ago. She talked about two things. One, people being weird to her pregnant belly, asking her questions. And two, to tell a story of a return where a customer tried to return a plant and instead returned a stick in a pot and got their money back, because sometimes that's how it works. So she sent me a reel the other day from TikTok or Instagram or wherever the hell it came from. It was from a cashier. And she's like, yeah, a customer tried to return some Christmas decorations. And this was after Christmas. So she tried to return some Christmas decor, little bows and things, and said, hey, I didn't use it. I bought too much, so I'd like to return this. And the cashier, the woman in the reel, was like, it had cat hair on it, like full of cat hair. And she's like, we could have done this. We could have made a deal here if you hadn't lied about it. And I don't know that she said that to the customer, but she said this in the reel. Like, I don't know, like you could have been cool about it, but you lied. Don't do that. And people do get weird. Thank you for that, Amy, for spurning this whole story, this whole segment, I should say. People get really weird about returns, especially around the holidays. I told a story years ago about a woman who tried to return a lamp that had broken, that she had bought on sale after. It was a Halloween lamp. She bought it on sale after the fact and came in and tried to return it. And I'm like, oh, it's a final sale. Sorry. And then she's like, oh, wait, we tried to fix it. And da-da-da. I'm like, all right, well, too bad. You got it for $10. And so, yeah, first she said it didn't work. Then she said they tried to fix it. Then she said it worked for 10 minutes or whatever. I don't know. And then, the stick in the pot. Like, people get weird, right, about returns. And then it reminded me of two things. Number one, we always had to tell people that ornaments were not returnable after Christmas Eve. And people will go, well, what if I get this one as a gift? And I was like, well, you got to, I don't know, man. You got to take the gamble and maybe re-gift it. But you can't bring it back to us. And I'm going to tell you why. And I told every customer this when they asked, why can't we do this? I'll tell you why. If I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. But what would happen years ago is people would buy all these ornaments and put them on their tree. They buy them, October, November, December, whenever. They buy their ornaments, put them up on the tree, take a bunch of pictures. Oh, look at the tree. Isn't it decorated all nicely? Look at the tree. All these great ornaments. Isn't it great? And then they would come back after Christmas and return them and get their money back. So they would use them for pictures and then get their money back. And so the company decided, not the store where I worked, like the company that does all the ornament stuff. They decided, hey, we're not doing this anymore. So once you buy an ornament, you got to return it by December 24th. Otherwise, it's yours. And so, yeah, people, they caught on. I guess the company caught on that people were doing this, just buying the ornaments, taking the pictures, coming back the day after Christmas, getting their money back. It just, people are weird, man. It's just really weird that people do that. So yeah, people got mad about that because they're like, oh, what if I did it? I'm like, I don't care. The sign says you can't do it. Corporate told me you can't do it. And that's why, because people would take pictures of the ornaments on their trees, take them down after Christmas, and then return the ornaments. And so some scumbags ruined it for everybody. That's usually how it goes. Some jerks, maybe they're not scumbags, but they're not good people, I don't think. They ruined it for everybody, and that's just how it goes. And the second thing this reminded me of was, I don't remember when exactly this was, but a woman came in trying to return a Vera Bradley bag. If you're not aware what Vera Bradley is, it's floral patterns on cloth bags, and they're very expensive. And because they're cloth bags, if you really use them, they don't last forever, right? Like if you use it sparingly, like it's a backpack and you only take it certain places or whatever, it can last a long time. But if you use it all the time, like most people do when they buy these bags, it doesn't last forever because it's a cloth bag. And this woman came in to return, I don't remember the name, like the style of the bag. I've forgotten most of this information because I no longer need to know it. And it's been a decade. So she came in with the diaper bag or the whatever bag she was using as her diaper bag. She came in and said, hey, there's a little tear on my bag. I'd like to return it. I got it whenever she got it. And she said, I didn't use it very much. I didn't use it very often. And we're like, okay, like, that happens. Like the bag can be faulty. There can be an issue with like the fabric or the stitching or whatever. And so we look at it and she had it for a while, I guess. And so we're like, okay, let's take a look. So she said, I don't use it very often. And then she proceeded to empty the bag onto the counter. And she'd been using it. I don't know if the style was the diaper bag, but she'd been using it as a diaper bag because she pulled out the formula, the outfits, the diapers. One of them was used. The snacks, there are crumbs everywhere because, if you have a kid, you know how that goes. Crumbs and snacks and old tissues and whatever, like all this stuff. Here's my first thing was you lied because you said you didn't use it that often. And it certainly looks like you're using it because you have a child in diapers. You're going to use that bag with all that stuff a lot. So that's the first thing. Second of all, why are you carrying around a used diaper in your bag like that? Like there are trash cans all over the mall, outside, inside, plenty of places to put that. And yeah, I'm not, I know they're not literally everywhere, but there are plenty of places like you would have passed one either coming in from outside from the anchor store or like coming in from outside, coming from the anchor store or coming from the mall from the other side. You would have passed a trash can in any of those spots. And you didn't think to throw away the diaper. I don't know, man. I would, if there's a trash can in the room where I'm changing the diaper, guess where that diaper's going? Right in the trash can. Boom, done. I'm not carrying it around like a psycho. I don't know. What am I saving it for DNA, cloning purposes? I don't know. But this woman, it's like the woman said in that reel, and I'll try to find it and post it. Amy, if you listen, can you send it to me again? Because I don't know if I'll be able to find it because I don't know how to look for things. I don't know. Anyway, she lied. Like we could have made a deal. We could have made something happen, a store credit, an exchange, or what. But you lied. Like you said, oh, I don't use this very often. But you clearly do. You're using it right now. Like you can't say I don't really use this. And so what happened? Okay, let's walk through this. Say you try to return a bag or whatever, right? Say you're returning a bag and you say, oh, I don't use it very often. The way to do that, to return that and have a success story out of this is to bring the bag empty. Like at least empty it before you come into the store to keep up your lie, right? Like sure, we would have noticed the crumbs probably. So, oh, you use this and we would have taken it and done whatever with it. But it's just like the lie was so bold and stupid. Like you didn't think to go, oh man, maybe, we're trying to return this bag that I think I don't use. Or maybe she didn't even get that far. She just said that when she got up there to me and said, I don't use it very often. Like, well, we can tell you're lying because it's full right now. Like at least if you say, I don't use it that much, bring it empty. And also like it looks used, right? Like we had another lady try to return one because it started to wear. And we're like, oh, how long have you started to wear? Like the material started to wear. Like, oh, how long have you had it? And she said 2 years. It's my main purse. And we're like, okay, that happens. It's a cloth bag. It's not going to last forever. And like, how do you use it? You carry it every day to work and to other places. She goes, yeah, I carry it around. I throw it in the back of the car. I take it wherever, take it here, take it there. Okay. You use it every day. Like you said, this is your main bag. You use it. It's going to wear and tear. You don't get to get your money back because of standard wear and tear on a product. That's not how it works. And I don't. So that lady didn't really lie about. The second lady didn't lie. She was just being dumb and trying to get her money back. But this first lady said, oh, I don't use my bag that often. But then emptied the contents onto the counter. And you're using it as a diaper bag. Which, again, if you don't have children, or if it's been a long time since you've had a toddler, when you use a diaper bag, you use a diaper bag. Maybe a toddler, infant, whatever, baby, whatever. A little guy, a little girl, little whoever, right? You use the hell out of that bag. That's going to get beat up and filled with stuff and crumbs and snot and juice and whatever. Milk, formula, all the things, right? The wipes here and there. And like the fact that she came in and said with a straight face, oh, I don't use it that much. I've had it for however long. I don't use it that often. And you were using it at the moment when you said you don't use it. You were using it right then and tried to get your money back. It didn't work. She didn't get her money back because they were like, no, like you use this, clearly use this, and it's going to be like it's going to wear and maybe tear, but it's going to wear down. It's how it works. It doesn't last forever. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to last, what, a year or 2, 3, maybe, if you use it every day. And then you get a new one. That's what happens. Things wear. I got a backpack. I had to buy like 3 of them. They were $5, so I'm not mad. But I use it every day. And then it started to wear, so I bought a new one. And I was like, oh, okay, great. New backpack. Awesome. I don't understand why. Like, she lied. Like, the fact she had to lie and thought she was going to get away with it is what bothers me. Like, she really thought she was going to come in and say, I don't use it that often, empty all the stuff from the bag onto the counter, and then hand us the bag, and we were going to give her money back. Like, give her her money back on her card or give her cash or whatever. She thought that was going to work. And she's like, oh, I don't use it. But you're using it right there. So again, let's go back to the real. We could have made a deal. We could have made something happen, an exchange, a credit, or whatever. Maybe not a straight return because it had been a while. And I don't think she had a receipt. I can't remember. But we could have made it happen. But you lied. And so the lesson, I suppose, if you're going to try to return something and you're saying you don't use it, you should not be using the item at the moment. Like, you should not have to empty a bag that you say you don't use. Because it should be empty. Because you just said you don't use it. So there we go. That's returns, man. It's like Jill told me stories when she worked at a hardware store for a while, and like people would, I got to return a porch light, and they would come in with an empty box, and she would go, hey, all right, well, where's the light? And they would go, oh, it's attached to the front of my house, but it doesn't work. Okay, well, you're trying to return a box, and that's not how this works. It's just like, I spent a lot of time in retail, a lot of my life. Well, I guess, grand scheme, I worked in retail, a total of 4 years, maybe. But a lot of that was just like the number of people who think they can get away with stuff while being so stupid. Like, that's how we have dumb politicians in office, because they just say stuff and people go, oh yeah, that's cool. Maybe that's a bad comparison. We should stop now. But anyway, if you're going to try to return an item and you say, hey, I don't use this that often, at least empty it before you come to the store to try to keep up the lie. Otherwise, you just look like a moron, and it's not going to work. It's not going to work. All right. I got to go do a thing. Let's see. Oh, okay. Jill texted me. I guess I guess she was at the back of the house and I'm being loud. She said an air conditioner somebody returned at the end of the summer, just under the 90-day guarantee, the 90-day return policy. Yeah. Okay. So she worked at a hardware store. I won't say which one because I don't do that. But yeah, people would buy an air conditioner beginning of the summer and they have 90-day return. So they'd use it for 88 days, 89 days and return it and get their money back. All right. That's not I don't know. That's too much work for me. Like an air conditioner is what, a couple $100? Like, I'm not sweating for that anymore. Right. Maybe I should have done that when I was in my early 20s, when I was working at the store, when I had no money. And she says, oh, she's sending me more. This is great. We're trying to end this segment, but now I'm getting messages. This is great. It's just like my live show, although I don't have a time constraint anymore. So let's see. Christmas tree refunded because they had a 1-year plant guarantee. Yeah, that's the same thing. Years ago, when Amy was on the show, they had where she worked had a 1-year guarantee, no questions asked. And so that's why this person could return a stick in a pot, and you can return Christmas trees because, when you're done with them, same deal. I don't know. Maybe they should institute a no returns after Christmas Eve policy for that over there. And it's been years since Jill's worked for this store. So maybe they've changed some things. Maybe they haven't. I don't know. I haven't looked it up. And she says a guy tried to repeatedly return boxes of light fixtures or whatever. That's what it was, filled with trash and retaped. So he would come in and say, oh, I want to return this thing. And it would have nothing in the box. And it's just like, why? Why? How much does a light fixture cost? What, like $30? How much? Hold on. Let's look this up. I need to know before we move on. I need to know this. All right. So I just looked up light fixtures, and most of them are between $14 and $52. Man, not worth it. Not worth. Oh, that guy was on some stuff. Okay. Well, all right. Just look. We've talked about returns several times on the show, but I bring it up today because Amy reminded me with the reel she sent of the lady who tried to say, hey, I didn't use this Christmas decorations, decoys, Lois, decoys. I didn't use this I didn't use it. I bought too much and it was covered in cat hair. And if you're going to try to return a thing that you used, just be honest. I thought I was going to need it. I didn't. That's why it's out of the box. I thought I was going to use it. We put it up and I was like, oh, we didn't need this one. It's extra. Whatever. I took it out of the box already because I didn't measure. I didn't look. Whatever. Just be honest about it and maybe they can help you out. Because if you're going to lie, you're not going to get it. Or unless you yell and scream and stomp your feet like a toddler, then maybe the manager will give in to make you go away. But just don't make everyone's life harder because you're an idiot. I guess that's the question. That's the lesson. Don't be a moron and don't lie about dumb stuff that can easily be proven false just because you want to get a couple bucks. That's all. All right. Don't be greedy dumbasses. Does that work? All right. We'll be right back. We have another thing after. What is this? The mail is next, right? Here's the mail. It never fails. And I don't think we can sing this song without getting sued. Sorry. All right. We're going to I gave up halfway through. I don't know why I thought that would be the problem. Like, that's the one Viacom's going to come at me for. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll talk about some live music things because we got a question right after this. Okay, we're back. That was fun. That was like a throwback to the live show when I would be telling a story and then I would get some chat comments and interrupt myself to answer those. That was really fun. Thank you, Jill, for sending me those things. She'll send me more things, I'm sure. Like, hey, shut the hell up down there. That would work. All right. We had a question. This one came in the other day from, Jimmy from Mayfair, I suppose, who said, hey, Pat, I got a music question for you. When you see a band live, do you prefer the songs to sound like the records, or are you good with some bands improvising on stage? And I love this question because, and I thought about posing this to you for the show, but then I didn't. Had I realized early enough that I was going to be doing a regular show this week, I would have done it. But then I didn't. I don't know. Anyway, so I want everyone to answer this. If you prefer to see it when you see a band live, do you prefer that the songs they play sound like their records, the albums, or do you like to hear them, do a little different thing, do some different things on stage live? Because I've heard that what was I listening to? I forget. The Counting Crows, they would make up new lyrics every night to their songs. And so every Counting Crows show, or most of them, you wouldn't hear the same songs every night. It would be a different way. And some people like that because they think, oh, if I just want to hear the record, I can do that at home. And that's fine. I'm not in that camp. I'm in the other one. I want it to sound like what I know. Like, I want to hear, when we went to see Thrice in May, one of the greatest things I've ever gotten to do. It was amazing. And the song sounded very close to what they do on the record. And that's what I want from a live show, like when a band plays live, because that's what I know. I know the song that goes this way. And if I'm singing along, I'm not singing loudly. I'm singing, I'm just vibing, right? I want the song to sound like the way I know it. I don't want the song to change live because then I get tripped up and go, oh, all right, well, that's cool, I guess. But, I came to hear the song that I know, or the songs that I know, and that's what I want to listen to. And being in here and experiencing this moment with everyone else, that's what I want to hear. I'd rather hear the song sound like the song that I already know. The reason that I'm going is because I like these songs enough to go pay money and find a babysitter and go see this band perform them live. Like, that's what I want. I want to hear the songs that I know as I know them. Like, sure, you throw in some B-sides that we don't know. That's different. But I would rather they not improvise too much and change the words and change the flows of the songs if they can help it. Because the reason that I'm going to a show is because I like the songs as they were made on the record. And maybe I'm in the minority there. I don't know. So I'd like to ask you, if you, when you go see a band in person, do you prefer their songs to be like they are on the records, sound like they do on the records, or are you okay with them changing the words and changing things up on the fly for the live audience? Are you okay with that? So let me know about that. I just feel like, for me, like that, the reason I'm going to the show is I like the songs as they appear on the records. And so when I go, I have an expectation that I'm going to hear this song that goes this way. And I know the words, and I know the rhythm, and I know the changes, and I know I know the guitar solo, right? And so when that changes live, it's like, oh, all right. like you're not ready for it. And it's kind of like, I don't know. I understand the argument that like, oh, if I want to hear the record, I can just hear it at home. I can stay home and do that. And I understand. I kind of understand that argument. I get it. It's not for me. Like that, I don't agree with it. I don't subscribe to that theory that I can just listen to the record at home, because going to see Thrice play a record that I've listened to for 20 years in person was one of the coolest things I've ever experienced in my life. And I don't say that lightly. It was one of the most amazing things I've ever gotten to see. And the reason that I think I really enjoyed it is because all the songs sounded like how I know them. And so I was able to go, okay, now we got this song, this one's next, and then that goes like this, and this goes this way. And being able to be in that moment with everyone else, sitting next to my smoking hot wife, and be there in that space with everybody else singing along to all the words they know, and in the cadences that they know, and the rhythms they remember. It was incredible. And I think you don't get that if the band takes some, they could take liberties, it's their own songs, they can do whatever they want. But I feel like if I'm going to a show, I want to hear the song as I know it. And so I prefer that the songs live sound like the record. Like I don't like a ton of change in the songs. Unless you've updated the song since the record came out, then that's different. Then we listen to the new version. That's a different story. But if you're changing the songs every night to something that I wouldn't recognize, even though I know the song, the original, that's not for me. I'm not a big fan of that. I know other people are, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. If you are in the camp where you know, oh, I can listen to the record at home, I prefer the improv, the improvisation up there, then that's fine. But that's not for me. I don't want that. I want to hear the song as I remember, as I know it, as I enjoy it, as I enjoyed it enough to buy a ticket to the show and get all the particulars in order to go see a show. I want to hear the songs as I know them. I don't want too much change. That's me. So sound off. Let me know if you prefer, when you go see a band live, do you prefer the song to sound like the record, or are you okay with the band changing stuff up, changing the lyrics, changing some rhythms and melodies, and having a little fun with it on stage? Let me know, and we'll tackle that next week or a couple weeks from now or whenever we get some answers, or we won't. We'll never revisit this again if nobody answers, and that's fine. Either way, there we go. Thank you for the question. Yeah, look at that. We made that a little segment there. Is that good? Does that work? Yeah, I'd rather the song sound like the record. That's me. All right, there we go. We got a couple more things for you. Let's do that. Oh, I got to go to lunch. Hold on. All right. I was going to do this whole thing together, these two things together, but I'm going to go to lunch, and then I'll come back and in 40 minutes, and I'll tell you about how bad the Facebook home feed is. And but I have another thing there, a saving grace that could make Facebook okay. And then we'll do sports, and then maybe the captain, and then that's it. All right? But we'll take a break. I'm going to go find some food, and I will be right back. Hey, I'm back. Hi. No time passed for you, but I've been gone for 45 minutes or so. Went to have lunch, did some stuff, did some work stuff, and it was a leftover cheesesteak, by the way, with some leftover mozzarella sticks. It was delicious. Thank you for asking. Yeah, it was really good, man. It was good. Still waiting on the repair guy, so I may have to, again, stop at any moment and let him in and let him figure out the stuff he needs to do. 2 things he's coming back to do today, so I hope they get done in a timely manner, because it's going to rain again Friday, so we need some things resolved. So there we go. All right, so that's what's up. You're all caught up now. I don't know why I'm acting like we're starting from the beginning, but but here we are. So yeah, send me your how you prefer concerts answers. If you like it, like the record or improv, let me know. All right. So I was going to bring this up last week, and then I wasn't feeling well, and I didn't want to do so much work on the back end, which turned out to be a great decision by me, because after I recorded that show on Tuesday night, I guess, I just felt worse for the next 4 days. So yeah, again, shout out to Tylenol, Theraflu, and Robitussin for presenting this episode and making me feel a hell of a lot better than I did on those days, for sure. So, 2 inches of snow on Tuesday. Wow. How about that? I got a little alert on my taskbar here, my little weather thing. What's up here? What's up with that? Ooh-wee. What's up with this? What's up with that? Ooh-wee. Please don't sue me, Lorne Michaels. All right. I don't know if he would be involved in the suing or it's not even sued. Like, that's the joke, right? I'm not going to be sued for singing a random thing from SNL or whatever. The most that would happen would be a cease and desist. Yeah. So don't send me that, please, Lauren. All right. Now, I clicked on the weather thing and because it said snow expected on Tuesday, and then the snow thing disappeared. So what the hell are we doing? What are we doing? We got to click on something else here? This means nothing to you. Oh, it's opening. What are you opening? Bing, get out of here. No, we're not doing that. All right, sorry. I don't know, man. Oh, all right. Turns out we got to pause because the repair guy is on the way. So we'll talk about Facebook. No time will pass for you, but we'll talk about it right after this. All right. Okay, we're back. There we go. That was so the guy did come. He handled one issue. He did the ceiling in the kids' room, which is good. He sealed above, which is also good. Nothing on the second thing he was going to do, but I guess he'll come back another day. He didn't have all the stuff. But that was a new issue, so I guess, we'll cross off the leak issues, and I think we're going to be okay. So I got to really kind of rush this part because it's been an hour and a half or so because we had a staff meeting that took just an inordinate amount of time, as they often do. So I mentioned, oh man, see, I can't get rid of the cough even. Jesus. Oh boy. All right. I mentioned last week at the end of the show, I was going to talk about the Facebook home feed and how it's just become even worse. Like so years ago, Facebook used to just be your wall of friend posts. And so you would go and you would see your wall. Like it wasn't a news feed. Sorry, or what they call it, a timeline, right? That's what they called it at first. It was called a timeline because it used to be you log in and you see your the posts that your friends have made to you on your wall. And at the time nobody could reply under them, so they couldn't make a thread underneath them. So they had to reply on your wall separately, and so the conversations got a little skewed, which is, okay. So that's what Facebook was when I first started using it in 2006. And so somewhere in between there, I don't remember what year, they said, hey, we're going to switch you to this timeline thing. You could do it now, or we'll do it on this day, whatever. And so, of course, you get your timeline, all your friends posting, and you get all the things you have now where you see everybody's posts, and you see, if there's a public post or your friend commented on a post that somebody you don't follow, you could still see it or something. And things get messy, right? But now it is worse than that because it's you have sometimes your friends' posts, but they're all out of order. They're not in chronological order. So I'm scrolling through and I'll see something from a friend today and then something else from a different friend from 3 days ago and then something else from another friend from yesterday and then something else from another friend from, 6 days ago. And then in between, it's ads for products, services, whatever. And also hey, you might like this page and here's a post from the page. Oh, you commented on this once or you liked this post from this page before. So you might like it. And so they keep showing you that page. And I get it. Social media now is algorithms, right? It's no longer, here are your friends, talk to your friends, share things with your friends. That is gone. I mean, Space Hey is that still, which is the fan-made MySpace reboot, which is pretty good. I haven't used it in a while because it's only as good as if your friends are there. Right? And none of my friends are there, or at least they're not my friends on Space Hey. But most social media platforms are algorithms. So if you interact with a post about, I don't know, politics, they're going to show you 14 more things about politics. If you interact with a sports page or a meme page from a TV show, you're going to see all those posts after you say that, right? You're just going to see that because you are now telling the algorithm, the program, the whatever, that, hey, these are the things that I like and I want to see more of. And so they don't really ask you about that. They just kind of do it. Just that's just how it works. They just do it. They just make it happen. And I just wonder, I don't know what to do. If I didn't have a show to post about, I probably wouldn't be on there anymore. I probably would have kept it up for, stay in touch with some cousins and aunts and that who are only on Facebook. I probably would keep it. I wouldn't delete my account. But I probably would have, deleted the app from my phone because it's I'm not seeing it. Most things I'm not seeing from my friends. I'm just seeing like ads and suggested posts, and I'm not crying, by the way. I got a cough. Sorry. I know it's something I'm getting choked up. No, there's literally something in there. So I don't know, man. It has become a thing of like, if I want to see what a friend posted, I have to go and find their page specifically. And I don't always, like, I'm usually just scrolling when I'm waiting for something to load at work, or I'm waiting for him to go to sleep. Like, he's in my lap and I'm keeping myself awake while he falls asleep or whatever, right? I'm not like sitting on there anymore and going through all the things. Like, I don't have that time, or I'm using it for something else. And so if I don't react to a thing you post on Facebook, it's because I literally didn't see it. And I'm not asking you to tag me. I'm not asking you to like show me whatever, but don't be mad at me if I didn't see it, because all I can see when I get on Facebook is ads and suggested pages and posts from certain friends from a week ago. And I just don't know, like, how is that a good model for a social media platform? That's my question. How is that like, the whole point is to see what your friends are posting and share things with your friends. But if no one can actually see what their friends are posting, because now I assume we're all seeing a version of the same thing, the same, ads, suggested posts, and things from a week ago. I imagine we're seeing those things. And maybe there's a setting I missed. I've never looked at them. It's not that big of a deal. But I mean, okay, you know what? If there is a setting, somebody let me know, because it is a big deal. I made a segment of the show about it. So it's a bigger deal than, it's not like it's not an issue at all. Otherwise, I wouldn't talk about it. But I'm not like, oh, I got to see all my things. Like, it's fine that I don't see your things. But if you want me to see your things, you got to teach me how to do that, because I don't know. But I'm just like, man, I was thinking the other day, like, man, if I left Facebook, I wouldn't miss a ton of stuff. Like, I use Messenger to connect with a few people, and that's the only place I connect with them. And so I guess I would keep that. But then I thought, like, oh man, like, what if I just got rid of Facebook? Even though the Facebook group I have on there is fun. I know I don't post on there a lot. I'm sorry. I'm going to work on it. And the Facebook page is the first thing that I made for the show, and that's been kind of like a home base, as it were. And so that's helpful. But I thought, okay, so I have those things. So I don't want to really leave the platform entirely, even though I've thought about it. But then I thought, the neighborhood groups. The Nextdoor app group is great. I was in a Ring when I had to use 3 Ring cameras out back because my neighbor was a psycho. I was in some of those groups, and those posts are hilarious. Like, oh, what's this? And it's just like a bunch of people asking dumb questions. And the neighborhood groups are absolutely hilarious, because whenever there are like fireworks, somebody goes gunshots with 7 question marks. And then like 7 people under it are going, following. Oh, I hope everyone's okay. And it's like somebody set off 3 fireworks 4 hours ago. Everything's going to be fine. Like, it's the funniest thing. I think what we should do is start like searching different community groups on Facebook and start like I used to do Am I the A-hole from Reddit, but I don't use Reddit anymore. So I think what we should do is find community group posts on Facebook, community groups, and read the funny posts from there. Like, what's going on in these neighborhoods? So, okay, I want everybody who listens to this, here's what I want you to do. If you're on Facebook, we don't have to be friends. I don't really care about that. But, join the group, like the page. Sure, do all that. But if you are in a community group for your neighborhood, or neighborhood group for your community, whichever words you use, if you're in one, I want you to check and see if there's like a funny, like, oh, what's going on over here? Is this being rebuilt? And then it turns into a bunch of, older people complaining about things. Like, if it's fun. I don't want a serious thing. I don't want like a real issue that's being discussed. That's not what I want. I want the fun stuff where people complaining about like, oh, this person's grass is too high, or like, what do we do about these dogs, or like, why did they change the color of the sign at the general store? I want that stuff, and I want the posts about that and the people complaining about that. That's what I want to read, and I want to share that on the show. So, to recap this one here, the Facebook home feed is complete garbage and has been for a while. If I don't see your posts, or if I don't react to your posts, it means I literally didn't see them. So we'll figure that out together. If you know how to chronologically, that's tough to say when you talk so fast, sort the feed, let me know. That'd be helpful, I think. And yeah, if you're in a community group on Facebook, I want the funny posts from there. I want the complaints about dumb things about, oh, they changed trash day, or the fire hydrant used to be blue and now it's yellow, or, they changed a letter on the sign and now it doesn't look like it did 30 years ago and I'm upset about it. That's what I want. So if you're in a community group on Facebook, I want the dumbest, funniest posts that you find, and we will talk about them on the show. Can we do that? Would that be fun? No? Okay. All right. I hope so. That sounds fun. Sounds fun in my head. Sounded fun in my head. Maybe it'll sound less fun when I edit the show. But let me know. If you're in a community group, I want the dumb posts. I want to laugh about things with you, about silly stuff your neighbors are doing. I don't want serious issues. I want the fun stuff. Okay? Can we do that? Great. Break. Thank you. We will be right back with the sports and maybe the captain, and that'll be that for the show. Okay? All right. Thanks. All right, real quick. We're back, by the way. Oh, I'm sorry. If you don't like sports, it's time to go. Thanks for coming. Go check out In Case We Crash. Find your Facebook community groups and share some fun posts, or fun posts from anywhere, about people complaining about dumb things. Let me know, because I want to share funny things, okay? Because I'm not on Reddit anymore, and I'm not going to go back there because that's... Ugh. But if you're on Reddit, if you're in a community thread or whatever in Reddit, and you see funny things, let me know, okay? All right, thanks. So if you don't like sports, specifically if you hate baseball, I'll see you next time with whatever it is I'm going to do, because we're talking about the Dodgers. Because I don't know, things came up. I got sick, holiday show, whatever. So the Dodgers signed Shohei Ohtani to what his agent calls a $700 million deal, but it's deferred for 20 years or 30 years or whatever. And so they're working on that. They signed Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the pitcher, who was teammates with Shohei Ohtani in Japan. So that's fun. It's not fun, I guess, if you're not a Dodgers fan, if you think it's like the super... Like, it's not good in that it feels like the NBA super team stuff. And it's not as fun when all of the people go to one team and it's all stacked and it's like you're playing the show and you turn on forced trades. And you turn off budgets, right? It's not fun in that regard. But I think like being able to see... Because the Dodgers are a prominent franchise, whether you're a fan or not. The Dodgers are a prominent franchise. And so they're going to be featured on the national broadcasts. And so you're going to have a lot of chances to see Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And they traded for Tyler Glasnow, who, when he's healthy, is really good, but he hasn't pitched a full season in like 4 years. So look out for that. And they also just signed outfielder Teoscar Hernandez, which I say that to add that they're deferring like $1 million of his salary over 8 years or something like that. Like, it's not a big contract, but they're deferring such a small amount. It just seems silly. But, it's a way they can get under the luxury tax and not have to pay a penalty, which a lot of people are upset about. And also, I'm sure I missed some moves the Dodgers made. Maybe they're not done. I don't know. But they've made some moves. They made some additions. Things are happening, right? And so people are upset about the deferrals. About, you're deferring this to get under the luxury tax and like weasel your way out of paying a penalty, which is, I guess, in a way, that's true. But as long as they're not breaking any union rules, right? They're not breaking any baseball or players' union rules by doing this. And so maybe the next bargaining agreement will have a clause that says, hey, you can't do this anymore. Or, hey, you can only defer so much money for so long. Like, there has to be a limit on that. And maybe that's the thing that they're going to discuss. They're going to be discussing, the players' union and the baseball people. I don't know. I'm not in those discussions. I'm not in that room. I do think it's going to be a thing for other teams, that I think teams are going to be like, hey, we'll pay you, $300 million contract, but we're going to defer, I don't know, 87% of it for 20 years down the road. So you make at this time, I don't know, $4 million a year for the length of the contract, and then we pay you the rest in installments, like Bobby Bonilla and, like Shohei Ohtani will now have, and plenty of other players. I think the White Sox are still paying Ken Griffey Jr., and I think he's the highest, or the Reds, I'm sorry, are still paying Ken Griffey Jr., and he might be the highest paid player on the team, and he hasn't played for them in like 10 years. So less than that. But the idea, like, the Bobby Bonilla one is funny because the Mets at the time, their owner was involved in a Ponzi scheme and thought they were going to make it back, and then they didn't because of Bernie Madoff, and that's why that's funny. Sorry, Mets fans, to keep harping on that, but it's not funny because it was deferred. It's funny because of the reasoning behind the deferral was that they're going to make this money back because Bernie Madoff had a sure thing, and then it turns out he didn't. And so it's funny because of that part, not just the deferral. So anyway, Bobby Bonilla Day, man. July 1st. Can't wait. So I do think this will become a thing, deferring big contracts. And I understand why people are upset because it's a way to weasel out of the luxury tax. I get it. I understand why that's upsetting as, I don't know, a fan of a different team, right? Or just as I don't know, maybe you think it's a scumbag thing to do, and that's fine. I get it. But can we argue this might be good for smaller market teams? Because like the Royals or the Reds or the Rockies, they probably can't afford to pay a $700 million contract or a $500 million contract straight up, right? They probably can't afford that. Even though their owners are all billionaires, they're a smaller market, revenue sharing, whatever. We're not going to dive into that whole thing. I don't know enough about it to really go, and I don't have time either way. So like the smaller teams can't afford that. But their owner's still a billionaire and still has a lot of money. And so could we argue that a smaller team, like say the Royals or the Rockies or the Reds or whoever, somebody like that, could sign a big star, whoever the next big free agent would be? I don't know who's going to be free agent next, but like if Shohei Ohtani had decided, hey, you know who's coming up good, coming up on the upswing? The Cincinnati Reds. And if he had decided, hey, I'm going to go play for the Reds, he wouldn't do that because he wants to play in a bigger market and wants to have a direct flight to Japan. That's why he went to Los Angeles, stayed in Los Angeles. He knows the city, whatever. But say, for argument, let's just say he went to the Reds and said, hey, let's do this. Let's defer my contract. Could they have done the same thing? Could they not, like, would they not have the money? What, is their owner not a billionaire? Right? Like, sure, they don't have as much money as the Dodgers, but that doesn't mean they don't have money to spend on players. They just choose not to. Maybe the Reds are a bad example because a couple years ago their owner was being a jerk. Or did they sell? Anyway, couldn't a smaller market team pay out a big contract in deferrals? Right? Couldn't they pay the guy $5 million a year for the length of the contract, 6 years, whatever, and defer the rest so they can sign more people, stay under the luxury tax, sign more players around them, build the team, and defer the rest? Is that a thing? Like, couldn't any team, theoretically speaking, couldn't any team, no matter the market size, because all the owners are billionaires, couldn't any team defer this money and pay it out over 25, 30 years? Could this not be a thing that could happen? Because I think this could be a way, and maybe there's some logistical point that I'm missing, and I'm willing to be, to correct myself if you find some more information, or if I find some more information. I'm willing to be wrong on this. Like, it's fine. If you know more about this than I do, let me know. But couldn't a smaller team now be in the market for the big name players? Because they realized, hey, the Dodgers did this. Why can't we defer most of the contract for 15 years down the road and have the player now and have more players now and have chances to win right now to get us more money and then defer the rest of the contract years down the road? Couldn't this be a tactic that other teams, smaller market teams, use to A, get around paying the penalty for the luxury tax, and B, not have to worry about, like the Orioles owner said a few weeks ago, increasing prices massively because you're deferring paying the money? And I know it's not that simple. I know there's more math involved and whatnot, but theoretically speaking, at a core level, couldn't a smaller market team use what the Dodgers just did in deferring the contract for many years down the road and be in on these bigger players and have more chances to win? Do you think that's a thing, or am I missing a huge part of this? Well, again, I'm okay with that. I'm willing to be proven wrong here. But isn't that a thing that could happen where a smaller team could say, hey, you know what? We're going to be in on the big starting pitcher coming over from Japan or who just became a free agent. We're going to be in on that guy because we're going to offer him the deferred money. So the guy still gets his money. He just doesn't get it right away. Am I wrong? Or has this been a waste of everyone's time? I don't I don't know. Man, the Dodgers made moves. They made things happen. And I think their strategy here of doing the huge deferrals for many, many years, I think it's going to work out for other teams. Theoretically, this could work. And if I'm wrong, then that's fine. But I think in theory, this could work. I think this could be smaller teams will use this now and say, hey, we can defer the money and hopefully get enough wins, get enough people in the building to make it back and not carry into the red here. But I would think a lot of business people in the front offices are thinking about this now and are going to make these decisions. So maybe it would work, maybe it won't. I don't know. That's just something I thought about when I read all these. It's a big deferred contract, and other teams can do this too. Like, there's nothing in the rules as of right now that says they can't do this. And why not use the same model and get yourself in on some bigger players and give everybody more chance? Like, baseball is better. All sports are better overall when teams are trying to win. And if you can find a new avenue to have more money to try and win more games and be competitive, that's better for everyone involved in the sport. Fans, players, executives, everybody. And so why not use this strategy and see if it'll pay off? Maybe it can't work, but if it can, I think over the next 5-10 years or so, we could be in store for some fun and new playoff matchups because the smaller teams can go, hey, we can get in on this guy too. So there you go. That's my thing. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. That's all the things for me today. So let's hopefully turn it over to the captain. That, again, if I'm wrong about that, let me know. If I'm incorrect on how the deferral system works, if somebody knows, let me know. Otherwise, we'll roll with my theory and hope it works. All right. So let us turn it over, hopefully, to the captain. We haven't heard from him in a few weeks because we all get busy and sick and whatnot. But hopefully we'll see. We'll see. A lot's going on. Maybe good, maybe bad. I literally have no idea. So, good sir, the floor is yours. Tell us what's going on with the Fly Guys. Take it away.
Hey, Flyers fans! Mark back at you again with another Flyers update! Yeah! Woo! Guys, Happy New Year! I know I haven't been there for you in this new year yet, but don't you worry. I am here, my friends. I'm here to talk about your Philadelphia Flyers and what a team this season is really producing. I mean, my goodness, we got some young players. We got some exciting trade news. We have a coach that's going after reporters. My goodness, this is getting exciting. Let's get into the recap. So last Thursday, the Flyers ended up losing in a shootout against Columbus at home. It was a tight game. The Flyers really showed a lot in that game. Unfortunately, the shootout just didn't go their way, but the Flyers have been much, much better this season in the shootout. It's been so impressive, and I don't even need to tell you about the amount of shorthanded goals this team has scored. I mean, their penalty kill is number 2 in the league right now. My goodness. I mean, we just get this power play going too, we're going to be on a roll. So the guys in the orange and black ended up taking on the Flames on Saturday, winning that game 3-2 at home. Then they took on the Penguins on Monday, ended up losing that game 4-1. It was a dud. The Flyers really didn't have their best stuff. But in between that Penguins game on Monday and the Flyers taking on the Canadiens on Wednesday, crazy trade news. Cutter Gauthier. All right, so this is arguably the second prospect for the Flyers. You know, not talking about that Russian kid. You know, he'll be here in a couple years. But let's talk about that trade. So the Flyers, what has leaked out is apparently he did not want to be a Flyer. He was picked number 5 overall, but apparently was excited to be a Flyer, then didn't want to be a Flyer. Who really knows why? The kid said some stuff. You know, we came out, Briere, Jonesy, they said some stuff. Who really knows what the truth is? But what did happen is he was traded to the Anaheim Ducks. We ended up getting back a second-round pick in next year's draft and ended up picking up an excellent young defenseman. I mean, this kid jumping right in, making it happen. I mean, I'm talking about like an instant top play. You know, you can be able to go on the power play. You can get him with anybody. I mean, this kid is really all over the ice. So, I mean, I know a lot of people are upset about it. I know that they're like, listen, Jamie Drysdale is not Cutter Gauthier. I get it. You know, but you got what you got, and I am excited about it. I want kids and players that want to be here, want to be Flyers. And then I have to wrap it up with the way that Tortorella came after a reporter after the game against the Canadiens on Wednesday. The Flyers ended up winning that game 3-2 in the shootout, but after the game, there was a reporter that put out something saying, although the Cutter Gauthier trade went down the way it went down, saying that Kevin Hayes somehow had something to do with it. Then Kevin Hayes was getting death threats to his family. Some terrible things were being said about his family. Tortorella really ripped into this reporter, and you know what? I like that. You have to make sure that your sources are there, and you got to protect these guys. I mean, come on. at the end of the day, we're playing a sport. This is real life stuff. You want to be sure of what you're saying. So looking ahead, the Flyers are going to take on the Wild in Minnesota on Friday, then follow that up with a game on Saturday against Winnipeg. Then they're going to be on the road once more, going to St. Louis, taking on the Blues on Monday. Then they're going to come back home for several games. So that's it for me, guys. I know that was a lot to throw out at you, but Happy New Year. I'm excited to be back, and I cannot wait to see what these Flyers keep doing in this new year. So, guys, that's it for me here inside the Melting Pat on Next Level Radio.
And there you have it, the Melting Pat, the Next Level Network, just in case he was not there, and that's fine too. Then we'll hear from him when we hear from him. I don't know. But anyway, there we go. That is our show. Thank you very much for being here today. Sorry, it's a little scatterbrained and rushed and whatnot. I have a lot going on here today, so I think we're going to be fine, though. We're good. Thanks to In Case We Crash for the tune, incasewecrash.com for more from them. Let me know your community Facebook group posts. I want those. If the baseball deferral system, if I'm thinking about it too simply, and the live music, if you prefer to hear the songs like they are on the records, or if you are good with improvising. The band improvising, not you. Anyway, that's it. All right? All right, I got to go. TheMeltingPat.com is where you find all of my stuff. Sign up for the newsletter, the Patreon, the Facebook group. All the things are up there. There's a network tab to see all the shows that are going, that are on here. Everybody's got them. We're not going to do G-Love today because we got a lot of stuff. So we'll do my thing, and then that's all. All right? All right. This has been an 8-Ball production. So until next time, my friends, have fun. Be safe. Thank a veteran. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Get vaccinated and boosted when you can. And of course, don't do anything I wouldn't do. That's it, right? Right? Right. Perfect. Bye. That's too many rights. 3 rights make a left. All right. I'll talk to you soon. I love you. Goodbye. Don't be dumb. Go crap open a cold one.